Between work, kids, and daily life, cooking every day can feel like a never-ending task. But don't worry, I got you. In this video, I'll show you how to meal prep for your family to save time, money, and energy while keeping your little ones happy and fed. Stick around for easy tips, toddler-friendly meal ideas, and a step-by-step guide to make meal prepping simple and fun. But before we get into the tips, what are actually the advantages of meal prepping? The number one advantage I would say is that it saves so much time. For one, it reduces daily cooking time because when you just meal prep, then the days that you don't meal prep, you can just heat and serve. Literally, that's it. It's like having an instant meal already. It minimizes your grocery store trips with planned shopping. Which is when we say, what are we going to have for dinner? I have no idea what we have at home. I have no idea what we have in the fridge. I don't know what to eat today. I don't know what to make today. Number two is it reduces stress. It eliminates last-minute cooking panic. It makes mealtime smoother, especially for picky toddlers. And it also keeps the kitchen much cleaner because you're reducing the daily cooking mess. And I don't know about you, but having less to clean is always a big advantage for me. Number three is it promotes healthier cooking. Because you're prepping your meals in advance, it helps you to control the portion sizes and what things go into your food. It encourages home-cooked meals over processed foods, and it makes it much easier to include veggies, proteins, and whole grains. Number four is that it saves money. It helps to reduce food waste by planning ingredients efficiently. It also cuts down on impulse takeout and last-minute grocery buys. And it also allows for bulk purchases, which are always much cheaper. Number five is it encourages variety and balanced meals. It prevents repetitive meals by planning a mix of flavors and nutrients. It also helps toddlers to get used to a variety of different flavors and textures. And it makes it easier to introduce new meals in a stress-free way. So as you can see, there are tons of reasons why it's so great to plan and prep your meals. I know it can be a little bit confusing and overwhelming when you don't know where to begin, and that's why I made this video. So let's get into the step-by-step process of meal prepping. So step one, before you can even start to actual meal prep, is that you need to meal plan. Okay, so choose 3 to 5 meals that you would want to incorporate during the week to avoid repetition. Ideally, you should first check what you have in stock. So let's say you look into the fridge and see what kind of veggies do you have there, what kind of meats you have in the fridge. Maybe you still have some chicken drumsticks, maybe you still have some veggies, maybe you still have some carrots there or some broccoli. What are the meals that you can make with these ingredients? Just keep that in mind when choosing your meal so that you can plan accordingly and you can use first what you already have. Next is to consider your family's preferences and nutritional needs. Does anybody have any allergies, any preferences, any specific dietary needs that need to be considered? Maybe someone needs much more protein, maybe somebody needs more healthy fats, somebody needs more iron, or somebody has allergies that need to be considered. Next is to actually plan a mix of batch cooked meals. For instance, for me, I try to make sure that we have fish, we have chicken, we have veggies. I even try to incorporate every week that we have at least one dish that has no meat in it, just kind of like meatless Mondays kind of thing. And so it's up to you what you want to include into your meal prep. Obviously, it's very subjective. It's very much depending on what your family needs or prefers. So just try to make a whole list of what makes sense for you during that week. And make sure to have a lot of different variety, not just all pastas or not just all chicken. So it's good to have a lot of different kinds of things to not get bored and to have your family keep enjoying the meals and not feel like it's so repetitive. So for instance, for breakfast, I love making pancakes, waffles, crepes, muffins. I also love making overnight oats in general, baked oats. Breakfast, I also love making eggs, putting fresh fruit and things like that. For example, for lunch, I love the idea of having hidden veggies inside the meal because my toddler now is in a picky stage where she doesn't like to eat vegetables anymore. I'm so sad because she used to love eating vegetables and now she doesn't anymore. And so I just make sauces where I hide some of the vegetables. So for instance, I have like a mac and cheese recipe with hidden veggies in it, so it's just like incorporated into the sauce so she doesn't see any vegetables, but she ingests it because she just thinks it's just like cheese sauce, but it's just in the sauce already, which is amazing. Lunch, I love making heartier food. So for instance, like all the meats and all the heavier foods and sauces and stuff, I love making it then. So that for dinner, we have a little bit of a lighter kind of meal, like soups, something that's very warming and comforting for winter time especially. And then come summer, something that's lighter like sandwiches and stuff like that. Something that we don't really require too much heat usage in the summer when it's already very hot. So I try to plan accordingly as well for that. Snacks, I also try to plan sometimes. So for instance, I make healthier and alternatives for cookies and muffins. I love making a lot of different kinds of muffins with different kinds of flavors. So we can just grab and go when we need it. It's so much easier. And you don't need to think about it anymore. Step 2 is to make a shopping list. So it's great to be able to group your ingredients according to categories. So for instance, like dairies and produce and veggies and protein, all these different kinds of categories, because usually in supermarkets, it's also how they categorize it. So it's so much easier for you if you're going to do this grocery shopping in person, that once you get into the shop, that you know that they're all together in the list, so it's not like you need to jump from one thing to the next. It's just going to make it so much more efficient for your grocery shopping. Something that I mentioned earlier is to buy in bulk if possible. So for instance, grains is something that you can easily buy in bulk. Frozen veggies, frozen everything that can be bought frozen, I do. So for instance, like all of our veggies pretty much are frozen unless it's really necessary that it's fresh. Our produce are also sometimes frozen. Our fruits are also sometimes frozen. So we really utilize our freezer because we have a lot of frozen stuff. And it's also so much more convenient because even if I don't finish it this week, for example, I can still reuse it for next week or the week after that because it has a much longer shelf life. So some of the prep-friendly staples are, like for example, for protein, chicken, ground beef, eggs, beans. Those things are very much necessary in a lot of recipes. Carbs like rice, quinoa, pasta, oats. Veggies like carrots, zucchini, broccoli are very versatile and you can use for a lot of recipes. Fruits like bananas, number one, apples, berries, all those kinds of fruits are very good because you can use them, you can eat them by themselves, or you can add them to different kinds of recipes. And dairy like yogurt, cheese, etc. Order your groceries in advance if you can. So I know that we're in the age of like delivery services and things like that. And for us, it's not possible in our little town to have a delivery service, but we do have a service where you can order things online and then you can just pick them up. So that's what we do, especially when we don't have time to do grocery shopping, and it really saves us an hour easily of grocery shopping. So even if we have to drive there, it just takes like 10 minutes to drive there and back. So it's like 20-30 minutes max to be able to get our groceries, compared to like an hour and a half that we would have to spend if we actually went shopping in the grocery store. So if you have that, or if you have even something that delivers, it's even more amazing. I would definitely utilize it, even if there's like a little bit of extra cost, because we found that it's so much more efficient actually to do it for your time but also for your money, because even if you're shelling out a little bit of extra cost for that service, it's still going to save you money, because at the end of the day, you're not going to the grocery store and you're not going to be tempted by some random things that you don't actually need, which is usually what happens to us. Like whenever you go to the grocery store, do you ever really only get what's in your list? I don't think so. Like there's at least one or two things there at least that you don't actually need, that's not actually in your list, that you just see and you just feel like you want to buy it. And that's happened to me and my husband a lot of times. And when we have the delivery service, or when we have something like I mentioned earlier that we just pick it up, then it's just everything on the list and nothing else. And so it just saves us so much money because we're not tempted by anything else. Step 3 is the big part, which is to batch cook and to store smartly. So pick 1 day or 2 days of the week to meal prep. These will be your meal prep days, or this will be your meal prep day that works best for your schedule, best for your family. So for instance, a less busy evening or on a Sunday or a Saturday, whichever works best for you, try to make this your meal prep time. So if it works for you to do like a whole day, then just take that day, or if it works for you to just do like a half day here and a half day there, whatever works for you, that's blocked for your meal prep and your batch cooking. So make 2 or 3 big dishes that you can immediately cook and prep and put in the freezer or in the fridge that you can easily eat from for a few days. Double the portion if you can. So we usually do 4 to 6 portions for our meals whenever we cook, so that we always have extra. So for instance, we eat it tonight and then we always have extra for the next day or the day after that, or the day after that if we put it in the freezer. And then tomorrow I make another one, for instance, and then we have like extra again for the next days. Portion your meals separately, so it's so much easier when you need them on a day to just pull it out for whomever needs it. So for instance, for me and my husband, I have like my own Tupperware, so I know it's my Tupperware and his Tupperware, so it's so much easier. And I have a Tupperware specifically for my toddler with a smaller portion that's perfect for her, so that we can just defrost that when needed. Look into freezer-friendly options like pancakes, muffins, pasta sauce that you can easily freeze well, and then make sure that you're labeling them properly so you know from which date it is and for who it is and how much. It'll be so much easier for you later on when you need it. Another advantage that I love with batch cooking is that because you make everything all in one go, you also just have to clean all in one go. So you're not making a mess every day, like little messes every day constantly, and you're always constantly cleaning. It's so much easier for me to just make a big mess one day, big mess, and then I just clean everything, and then every day I don't need to make so much mess, and it's so much easier to clean afterwards. Step 4 is to keep it flexible and fun. Don't stress about perfection, because some weeks will be easier than others. There are some days that it's just going so smoothly and everything is going according to how you planned it, and then there are some days that it just doesn't work, some weeks that it just doesn't work, and that's fine, you know. You don't have to be perfect every single time. I do want to say that it gets so much easier once you're used to it. So with practice, it becomes much easier and much more like a habit, and it's much easier for you to do later on because you're just used to the rhythm of things, you're just used to how you store things, you're used to the way of working, the ways of doing things, and it's just so much faster when you do it next time, when you've done it like 10 times compared to when you do it the first time around. Once meal prepping becomes a habit, you're not going to turn back. I still remember when I learned about meal prepping and I started doing it, and I was just like pretty mind blown. I was so surprised why I didn't realize that I could just do this and not have to cook every single day. And I actually started meal prepping and meal planning before I was even pregnant, before I even had children. And so I already established that habit then. So it was so much easier afterwards to keep going even after we had kids, and made my life so much easier. And honestly, I'm not going back to just like cooking on the fly every time whenever I need to cook, because these days there are days when I have to do that, when I didn't have time to meal prep or meal plan because of how hectic life can be sometimes, you know, it's parent life. But whenever it's possible, I really do try to meal prep and meal plan, because it's making my life so much easier, things go so much smoother, things are just much nicer when I get to meal plan and to meal prep. And the last tip that I have is to make sure that you have backups. So try to buy some frozen meals of things. So I know that in our different kinds of supermarkets, I've seen frozen meals that are like for a family portion, for a portion of 2, for a portion of 1. And so it's so much easier when you have those backups that you can put in the freezer or in the fridge, like a mac and cheese kind of thing. So just for backup, just in case there's something that happened, like an event that you're late to, that an event that you had to go to and you come home late and something needs to be done but you still need to do other things, and yeah, you just don't have time to cook right now, but you also didn't have any time to meal prep yesterday. It's just so much easier to have a backup, and it always saves you tons of stress and tons of time. I also like buying things that are very easy to cook. For instance, something that you can just fry and throw together, like breaded chicken or sausages that I can just fry and then throw together with pasta or with rice and then veggies, and then bam, that's a meal, you know? It's just so easy because it takes literally like 15 minutes to do everything, to throw everything together in case I didn't have time to meal plan, or we ran out of things, or we just don't have enough food anymore that have been prepared prior. It's just easy to throw something together when needed, and yeah, it's just a great thing to have as backup. For my toddler, I also have some fish sticks and some chicken nuggets on hand in the freezer. Just something easy that I can throw in the air fryer when I need it, or when there's meals that she just would not eat. So for instance, like some things that we like that I know that she's not going to like for sure, that she's just tried time and time again that she doesn't like. It's just always good to have those on hand just in case needed. And that's why meal prepping is a total game changer. It saves you time, it reduces stress, and makes sure that you're getting healthy, balanced meals every day. Plus, it saves money and cuts down on food waste. So what's there not to love? Let me know in the comments what's your favorite meal to prep for the family. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, happy prepping, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!